This is News 8 Now, this morning.
It's, a little scary living only a few blocks away, knowing that something like that happened. We had an incident 1 month ago where somebody tried to break into our house, so this kind of hits home.
This officer could face a felony charge and the resulting penalties that go along with that. So up to a $10,000 fine and up to 3 years or more in imprisonment.
It was therapeutic. It was beautiful. It was like something I couldn't have ever expected because my experience in school was very negative.
Good morning, everyone. That was your morning eye opener. I'm Sophia Pullman.
And I'm Derek Sibley.
It is Friday, May 19th. Happy Friday.
Friday, as we like to say.
We made it through the work week. Little rainy yesterday.
Yeah, a little bit.
But I think we have a lot of sun coming our way.
Yeah, we have to get through some clouds here throughout the day, and then they'll clear here, especially by tonight. But the really important story today is that, we have the air quality alerts, but it's going to be much cooler here as we head into this afternoon. You notice that big time here as we head into later in the day. Instead of the 70s and 80s that we've been used to, this time we're going to be in the low 60s today. So get ready for that. In the meantime, I do want to give you an update on the air quality alert. It's in effect for much of the Cooley region until 12 p.m. today. So those of you that may be sensitive to this type of air mass, make sure to spend more time indoors, close those windows, and keep yourself safe. In fact, some states across the central and northern United States dealing with the same type of problem. Here's a current look at those temperatures into the 40s and 50s across the area now. Looking at those skies that continue to clear as that front continues to advance towards the east. Your planner overall today calls for mixed clouds and sunshine. Temperatures in the 50s through 1 o'clock, and then the 60s here by later this afternoon. Overall, a much cooler day. The mulberry is low, the oak is medium, and the tree pollen is high for today. Stay tuned. I'll have a check on your full weather forecast plus your schoolcast in just a few minutes. Sophia?
Thanks, Derek. Let's get to some news this morning. 17-year-old Ephraim Coe is facing multiple charges after police say he robbed people at a North Side home at gunpoint. According to police, Coe told victims to get on the ground and kicked and strangled one of them. Police say when the victims fought back, Coe fired a gun, but the bullet didn't hit anyone. News 8's now spoke with a nearby homeowner who says he had a similar incident happen recently.
It's, a little scary living only a few blocks away, knowing that something like that happened. We had an incident 1 month ago where somebody tried to break into our house, so this kind of hits home.
Police say Coe stole several items and left the house. Coe turned himself into police yesterday. He's being held in jail on multiple police charges, including attempted homicide and robbery with use of force. He is scheduled to make an initial appearance in court this afternoon. A Richland County woman charged with hitting and killing a pedestrian near Ithaca last year had a $10,000 signature bond set. 30-year-old Molly Rutherford is facing one charge of homicide by neglect operation of a vehicle. A criminal complaint says Rutherford was trying to pick up a soda bottle on the floor of her minivan when she hit the 86-year-old victim. A blood draw from Rutherford shows evidence she was impaired. A preliminary hearing is set for July 5th. An investigation is underway after a Monroe County Sheriff's Office canine died after a heat-related injury. On Wednesday, May 10th, 6-year-old canine Colt suffered a heat-related injury and died 5 days later. A Monroe County deputy has been placed on administrative leave. Legal expert Emily Lewis says canines are often seen as a partner to law enforcement officers. She says under Wisconsin law, the deputy could face a felony.
This officer could face a felony charge and the resulting penalties that go along with that. So up to a $10,000 fine and up to 3 years or more in imprisonment.
The Vernon County Sheriff's Office and Juneau County District Attorney's Office are investigating. Lewis says Colt's death is a reminder for everyone. Avoid leaving your animals in a car as the weather gets warmer. The city of La Crosse is named after the sport, which actually began with Native Americans playing a similar game hundreds of years ago, right here in the Cooley region. So why don't any of our high schools have a lacrosse team? Well, we do now. Wade Overton Cade Overton, has the story.
So like this soil we play on today has been played on for hundreds of years, and that's just an honor to me to play on this soil and play where this sport has a rich history and heritage in our area.
The game once played by the native Ho-Chunk Nation has changed over the years, but its roots right here in western Wisconsin remain solid. Starting next school year, teams all across the state will be participating in the first WIAA lacrosse season, including the area's co-op team, the Lacrosse Lightning.
It's just going to be such a different change and feel. Like being a club sport, you don't get like the same exposure in the school, and like it's just different because the fan base isn't there and stuff like that. So it's definitely going to be an amazing thing for this club to expand and the sport of lacrosse to grow in our area.
While the sport has seen its ups and downs in its namesake city with the WIAA taking over, the hope is that participation will skyrocket.
You have to reach a certain threshold, and then if you get accepted, then, like you said, the growth then takes off or skyrockets in some instances. We are hoping for that same type of scenario in lacrosse.
The WIAA says that it's one of the fastest growing youth sports around the country, and before the pandemic, participation here was on the rise.
It was growing pretty rapidly, I would say, up until COVID. COVID hit, and then we didn't have a season for a season and a half.
So what exactly is lacrosse?
It's similar to other sports. I think it has aspects from all different sports in it. Like you have a stick similar to in hockey, and the substitution is similar to hockey, and it's constantly moving. There's no stops.
Like a lot of sports, you try to put the ball in the goal, but for lacrosse, it's the speed of the game that keeps athletes coming back.
Overall, it's a very fast-paced sport, which I love personally because I'm a very energetic person and I like the get up and go of lacrosse.
The town once named after the sport will soon be taken over by it once again. Reporting from La Crosse, Cade Overton, News 8 Now.
The plan is for the team to start with this co-op, but eventually get to a level where all schools can have their own team. The inaugural season will start in the spring of 2024 and will have both boys and girls teams. For the latest on these stories and more, download the News 8000 app on your phone or tablet. Still ahead on your morning news, an immersive Star Wars Disney hotel is closing its doors just after 18 months. And how to chip away at that college debt in a safe way. That and more coming up this morning. For now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. A goose is on the loose. During the Brooklyn Cyclones Hudson Valley Renegades game, there was a delay while a goose was running around the outfield. The Renegades outfielders and ground crew members try to chase the goose away with little effect. The Renegades are the High A affiliate of the New York Yankees and play in the South Atlantic League. Don't go anywhere. Your consumer news at News 8 Now this morning after the break.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome back. Air quality alerts continue across the Coulee region until 12 p.m. today, as you can see highlighted. So this is unhealthy for sensitive groups to be outside, and some spots here across the area, across the United States, are under these air quality alerts here as well. Your dog walking conditions, mostly sunny here to start, mostly cloudy into the afternoon, followed by partly cloudy skies as we head closer towards that evening hour time frame, with the current temperature reading standing into the 50s for the most part. Some spots, however, are currently into the 40s, but today, though, our forecast highs will be reaching only the low 60s in many spots. So much cooler day for areas such as Bangor. You're looking at a high of 60, Middle Ridge with a high of 58, 61 today in Soldiers Grove, and 61 in Stoddard, 58 in Westby. Highs reaching 60 in Black River Falls and 58 in Cashton, 59 today in Winona. In the Chippewa Valley, you're looking at highs into the upper 50s to low 60s here. Meanwhile, your bus stop forecast here this morning calls for temperatures to be around 52 degrees. Overall, a mostly clear start, and then on the way home today, temperatures rising to about 60 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Now I'll be back here a little bit later coming up with your full weather forecast coming up in a few minutes, and we'll talk about more about the air quality, and plus we'll let you know how the weekend is shaping out, and also as we head into next week here too.
In your consumer news this morning, only 18 months after opening to much fanfare, the Star Wars Galactic Super Cruiser Hotel is preparing for its final voyage. The pricey hotel and involving fan experience at Florida's Disney World will close its doors on September 28th. At nearly $5,000 per couple for 2 weeknights, the price was out of reach for many Star Wars hardcore fans. Disney says even though this creative idea didn't live up to expectations, the company is not giving up on immersive, cutting-edge experiences for guests. It's college graduation season and new grads are entering the workforce. Many now need to create a plan to pay off student debt while also considering their healthcare and retirement investment options. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlensinger has some tips.
If you have a student loan or any other debt, create a list of each loan. Include monthly payment amounts and the interest rate. Focus on the highest interest loans and then systematically work your way down to the lower interest ones. For parents, if you can afford to help the kids without jeopardizing your own financial security, that's fine. But no borrowing against the house or the 401k. If your first job offers health care, consider a high deductible plan to keep costs down. If not, remember, parents can keep children on their own health insurance plans until age 26. Finally, while the cash flow might be tight for new grads with a brand new job, if it includes a retirement plan, try to contribute to it at least up to the company's match if one exists. Review the investment options within the plan and opt for lower cost index funds if they're available. If there's no plan through your employer, open a Roth IRA at any of the major low-cost firms.
That is some great and much needed advice for those new college grads. Here is Derek with a Wisconsin athlete to tell us about how much cops love donuts.
Good morning. With us today, we have Sergeant Brooke Pataska and Sarah Schumacher, who are both here to tell us about this year's Cops on a Rooftop. So, good morning. Can we talk a little bit about the event that's coming up?
Yeah, good morning. So we are excited. This will be the 10th year that we have partnered with Dunkin' to do this Cop on a Rooftop, where a portion of those proceeds do go to Special Olympics and helping the athletes.
I know this may be a silly question, but for those who are new to town, can we actually expect police officers to be on the rooftop, and if so, how many?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll at least have one officer, yes, on the rooftop. So we'll kind of do it in shifts, but yes, we'll have an actual officer on those rooftops.
Very cool. And is there like a certain goal that we're trying to reach here?
You know, as much money as we can in order to help those Special Olympic athletes and whatever we can provide and help with that.
Right. And what are the Special Olympics exactly?
It's sport and being with your friends and everything.
Yeah. And like, is there a lot of like different kinds of sports?
Yes, there's flag football, cornhole, bocce, swimming, bowling, team basketball.
So just basically a little bit of everything.
Yep.
Very nice. And how involved is the police with this organization?
Yeah, we do have, so there's one Sergeant Whitney Hughes that's very involved and helps and assists with setting things up and obviously assisting with the Cop on a Rooftop at Dunkin'. But yeah, any kind of way that we can help and assist.
And as far as the police department goes, you know, is this like a state or a nationwide thing, or is this just local?
It's throughout the state, yeah. So it's not just lacrosse that are doing this.
Okay.
Yeah, yep. And it's pretty exciting to have the special athletes like Sarah being able to attend. And a portion of these proceeds go to medical screenings, health screenings that maybe they won't be able to have the money for to provide for financially, eyewear, things like that.
And how does the donations help the athletes? Are they raising for like a certain goal in mind when it comes to that?
We're raising the money for the bus trips when we go to state and the housing and everything else.
Okay, very nice. And a quick reminder when and where the event is happening. Is there any additional information that our viewers should know about today?
Sure. Yeah, it's from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. At both of the Dunkin' stores here in La Crosse.
Okay. Well, go ahead and join these members, the local law enforcement and the athletes, coaches, and the community to support your Special Olympics. Back to you.
to the Blitz. We're coming down the final stretch of the high school track and field season. It all culminates in a couple of weeks on the UWL campus for the state track meet. But until then, the best athletes in our area still have some work to do before the first weekend in June. Let's head to Sparta High. Spartans hosting the Last Chance Invite. Pick it up on the 110-meter hurdles. Thomas Mitchell Schroeder flying toward the finish line. He finishes in first place with a time of 16.74. 100-meter dash time on the girls' side. It's on Alaska senior Taylor Mollen crossing first at 12.80. Her teammate Ella Stevens finishes in second with a PR of 13.29. Let's see how the boys did on their 100-meter dash. This one, a photo finish. West Salem's Carter Walter on Alaska's Casey Barth, neck and neck down the stretch, but it's Walter getting it done at 11.48. Barth finishes at 11.55. Up next, it was the girls' 1,600-meter run. 11 athletes on the track, only one can finish in first. This race belonged to Westby's Elizabeth Curtis, the freshman. Makes it look easy. She was all alone on the final turn, just under 5 minutes and 34 seconds. And finally, it was the boys' turn to give it all they had for 4 laps around the track. And when it was all said and done, Brookwood's Dylan Powell finishes in first at just under 4 minutes and 46 seconds. Sparta freshman Joel Johnson finishes just 4 seconds behind. Up to Whitehall, 15 teams looking to stay in stride ahead of regionals. We start the action at the 100-meter hurdles. CFC's Ella Arneson comes in first with a time of 17.68. Now to the 100-meter dash, Blair Taylor's Paige Kelly wins it with a time of 13.22. Same race now for the boys. It was a 1-2 finish for Logan, led by Justice Ariano. Evan Witchell finishes in second place. Now to the 1,600-meter run. Starting with the girls, another big win for CFC. Addie Dwellman wins with a time of 5 minutes, 13.09 seconds. Same race now for the boys. CFC's Wesley Prunchinsky wins with a time of 4 minutes, 35.98 seconds. Now to the 4x200 relay, starting with the girls. The Logan girls take first place. Same race for the boys. Arcadia comes through with a big win. Let's go to the Diamond at Copeland Park. Senior night for the Central baseball team. Riverhawks hosting rival Logan. Pick it up top 1. Rangers going right to work. Gabe Catchy is going to line a base hit in the left field. Here comes Johnny Lever sliding in safe. Logan strikes first. It's 1-0. And how about the guy on the hill, Tyler Rumsey? He was dealing. He gets out of a jam in the first, then gets another big K to escape trouble in the second. Just 1 hit allowed by Rumsey on the night, and the offense helping him out. Bradley Check lines a base hit in the center. Rangers double their lead. It's 2-0. How about Nick Jolly in the 5th? 2 in scoring position. Jolly gets it done. He finds the hole on the right side. Both runs come in to score. Rangers get the shutout win over their rivals, 4-0. That's going to do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
Air quality continues to remain low here across the Coulee region. This is in effect until 12 p.m. today. And for those of you that may have some sensitive type of conditions to these poor air quality index, it might be a good idea to go ahead and limit your time outdoors and spend some more time indoors with the windows closed. And really the same can be said for areas like Nebraska, up towards Montana, portions of Idaho, and also up towards Washington State, where they're also under some of these air quality alerts. And that's all thanks to the smoke coming in from the north, and that is from the Canadian wildfires. In fact, you can kind of see from CityCam, things are a little bit on the hazy side out there. Current conditions, 53 degrees, west-northwest winds at 18, gusting up to 24 miles an hour. Meanwhile, to the north in Eau Claire, you're currently at 46, so much cooler here to the north. Winds out of the west at 10 miles an hour. So here's a look at the satellite and radar, and you can see that the showers and storms that we were dealing with yesterday are long gone. We are now looking at mostly clear weather conditions behind this front that moved through, and also a much cooler and drier air mass exists behind that front, which is going to filter into our area here in the Coulee region throughout the day. And just behind that, we're looking at an area of high pressure that's going to be building in today, and also as we head into this weekend. And you'll see that here on the bigger picture. Once this system moves out, here comes the high, and that's going to be building in here today and throughout the weekend, and that's going to allow much cooler or much quieter weather conditions to take shape. The temperatures will be warming up as the high continues to build across the area. Here Sunday at 6 p.m. and you can see that broad area of high pressure that continues to build across much of the Midwest, leading to what we're pretty much going to see today, which is just a mix of clouds and sunshine, pretty quiet temperatures. 56 at noon, 62 degrees by 4 p.m. today. And you'll notice that the clouds here pretty much off and on. They'll start to increase here a little bit bit as we head throughout the morning. Partly cloudy skies here, arriving as we head throughout the afternoon hours today. 9 p.m. I do expect some clearing skies, and the wind speeds expected to lower here a little bit. That should allow temperatures to also drop, and you'll see that we will. Whoa, looks like we're going around in a circle there. Upper 30s, low 40s as we head into tonight. There I am. Welcome back as we head into tonight. So let's take you into tomorrow, and we're going to be waking up into the low 60s under mostly clear skies. Now watch what happens here by 5 to 6 p.m. Lots of sunshine and temperatures warming up into the 70s by this point. And we are expected to be into the 60s today. But again, here, as we head throughout the weekend, our temperatures will be warming back up into the 70s. And in fact, the upper 70s to low 80s as we head into next week with just that mix of clouds and sun, and lows into the 50s and low 60s.
Drivers in southern Minnesota are facing a new headache. More than 9 inches of rain fell there, making several roads and bridges in St. Peter and Henderson off limits. Barrett Leone shows us how all that water impacts travel.
Flushed parks, flooded highways, and forced closures. The Minnesota River is fierce this spring.
This is more than what we might normally see this time of year by long shot.
In St. Peter, city officials say shutting down a major crossing like this one is rare.
It does happen maybe every 5, 6, 7 years. It just depends on what Mother Nature has going.
Especially now.
And so there's just not any crossing right now.
As it detoured another project down the road.
While we normally have 2 bridges that allow for crossing of the Minnesota River, well, as of 9 o'clock today, we have 0. Right now, neither of those bridges are available for folks to cross. And so the next available crossing is 8, 10, 12 miles in a different direction.
A headache for commuters, nearby businesses, and students.
It's a challenge for the school district and for families. The school district crosses the river, and so kids that on a bus that might normally be picked up across the river and just zoom right across, they're going a long way to get around to school today.
They're not alone.
I thought I'd just walk over and see it for myself.
Wayne Crone spent an extra 20 minutes on the road Wednesday morning. He says a rainy weekend didn't help the already rising water.
The sun come out and I thought we were in good shape. Well, then Saturday night before I went to bed, it was raining really hard. My driveway looked like a river, and the next morning when I got up, I had 5 inches in the gauge. So I had like 6 1/4 inches in a day.
Just north of town, parts of Highway 93 and 99 near LeSueur and Henderson closed off and underwater. While the waters are high,
we'll get by it, we always have.
So are spirits.
You know, we're Minnesotans, we're tough. You know, so if we put up with all the snow this winter, we can put up with a little bit of this water this spring.
In St. Paul, recent showers have already caused new flooding in areas like Fort Snelling State Park. It's closed for a second time this spring after only reopening for 2 days. Tax relief could be coming to Minnesota families soon. A $3 billion tax cut bill is nearing approval in the legislature. The cuts will go towards families with children. One-time refunds would give $260 payments to individuals making up to $75,000 a year, or $520 for married couples. Qualifying families could also get up to $260 per child, up to 3 children. The state's Joint Finance Committee has created a separate account to commit $125 million towards fighting PFAS pollution. At a press conference today, the committee's co-chair did not specify how that money should be used, except to combat the dangerous forever chemicals.
This fund will be dedicated to PFAS. $110 million of that will be general purpose revenue, and $15 million from the environmental management SEG account.
The governor's budget had called for a similar investment and for restricting PFAS levels in well water. Committee officials say future legislation will outline the state's solutions to the contamination problem. In Madison, Republican Senate and Assembly members are divided over the Assembly's proposed bill to add funding for local services like police and fire. Wednesday, the Assembly passed an amended bill increasing aid to local governments by 15% and allowing Milwaukee City and County to raise revenues if voters approve a higher sales tax. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos said Wednesday evening that they were done negotiating, but Republican Senate Majority Leader Devin Lemieux says that the Senate will probably remove that Milwaukee provision. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos says if the Senate removes that provision, it would kill the bill. Wisconsin's Department of Natural Resources says a new funding program is available for organizations needing all-terrain vehicle safety instructors. The two-year program funding includes up to $300,000 to hire safety instructors and trail ambassadors. Eligible organizations have to prove they're registered as a non-stock organization and that they have a business plan outlining safe usage of ATV and UTVs. Organizations need to apply by June 12th. Governor Evers has declared May 18th Wisconsin School Garden Day, a day that recognizes programs that offer educational opportunities to youth in the state. Students from Summit Environmental School are planting in the school's garden alongside educators from the lacrosse nonprofit GROW. Summit's principal says these kinds of lessons are important to start at a young age.
Even though we live in a rural community, sometimes they don't know where their food comes from. So it's really nice and neat to see them try new things and enjoying through the program, through the garden, to the GROW lessons.
Summit is one of 9 area schools that partner with GROW to provide students those hands-on garden-based learning experiences. One of the biggest classes from a Western Technical College program has graduated. One student in particular is making the end of a long journey to get her education. Many people believe that high school has a time and place, but this 38-year-old graduate from Western Technical College says otherwise.
I'd like to thank you all for attending my retirement party. Oh wait, no, this is my high school graduation.
A diploma that was 9 years in the making.
It did take me a little chunk of time, but I did it.
Jessie Seide made the walk across the stage. Seide was one of over 300 graduates receiving their high school equivalent diploma from Western Technical College.
We have one of our largest graduating classes we have ever had. We have 320 graduating students.
Giving her first ever public speech, Seide shared some words of wisdom.
It isn't too late. You can achieve your goals, you can turn over a new leaf, and you can, in fact, teach an old dog new tricks.
The Viroqua native also talked about her experience at Western.
It was therapeutic. It was beautiful. It was like something I could never expected because my experience in school was very negative.
Seide previously struggled with bullying and staying engaged in school.
The structured setting of a classroom didn't work for me. That's not the way I learn.
Luckily, Western had an array of learning modes for Seide.
We have more avenues for students to get a high school diploma. We also can combine GED test scores with high school transcripts and come up with individual academic plans for each student.
Now at 38, Seide is inspiring others while accomplishing her goals.
What fueled my fire was getting my message out there to people and letting them know, like, hey, it's not too late for you.
City plans to spend the summer with family and is considering a future in food management. We wish her the best. Here is Derek to tell us what our driving conditions are today. Derek.
All right, thanks for that, Sophie. I just want to go ahead and let you know again that air quality alerts still remain in effect across the Cooley region until 12 p.m. here today. In the meantime, our current temperature readings are into the 50s, but there are some spots like Sparta and Black River Falls east into Volkfield, all into the 40s here as you head out the door this morning. A check now in the forecast overall today calls for partly cloudy skies, much cooler with highs around 62. Northwest winds 10 to 20. For tonight, unseasonably cool conditions as well with temperatures at 45 degrees, mostly clear and northwest winds at 10 to 15 miles an hour. The driving conditions here for you this morning are looking pretty good, mostly sunny, and we could briefly turn mostly cloudy around the lunch hour, and then afterwards by the evening, partly cloudy conditions, but overall a pretty quiet day driving wise. Now, as far as your mowing forecast is concerned, 51 degrees, mostly sunny. By noon, mostly cloudy, and by 5 p.m., partly cloudy with temperatures into the low 60s by 5 p.m. But overall, just a picture-perfect day to do any type of outdoor mowing here if you need to get that done. But stay tuned. A little bit later, we'll have another check on that full weather forecast after the break. Well, air quality alerts continue across the Coulee region until 12 p.m. today. So those of you that may be sensitive here to this type of air mass, make sure to spend some more time indoors. Close those windows up because it looks like this is going to be sticking around here through at least the early afternoon. In fact, you can see areas like Nebraska up towards Montana and portions of Idaho and also portions of Washington State dealing with the same problem here with these poor quality air quality index values, that is, as we're still looking at the smoke and haze coming from the north from the Canadian wildfires that continue to affect the sky. In fact, you can see from City Cam 8 in downtown La Crosse, things are looking a little bit on the hazy side out there. In the meantime, current temperature readings 53 degrees, west-northwest winds 18, gusting up to 24 miles an hour. Meanwhile, to the north in Eau Claire, it's pretty cloudy here, 47 degrees, westerly winds at around 8 miles an hour. And you can see that most of the rain that we had here to the east this morning is finally cleared out, and skies are looking pretty quiet here across the area. We're behind this cold front that just moved through yesterday, giving us a much cooler and drier air mass to work with. And behind that front, we're watching an area of high pressure taking shape. That's going to be responsible for bringing us some quiet weather conditions today and through this weekend. We'll get to that here now. And that trough of low pressure continues to move away. Here comes that high pressure system building in across the Midwest here as we head into this weekend. And that's going to help give us some quiet and pretty dry weather conditions to work with pretty much all weekend long. In fact, much of the Midwest, in fact, all the Midwest really is going to be pretty quiet as the system is just so broad in nature to work with. So let's take a look now at your day planner. 56 and mostly cloudy by around noon, and then partly cloudy, 62 by 4. As we head into the early evening, it will turn mostly sunny with temperatures at around 58 degrees. So we'll take you through Sky Tracker. You can see the clouds increasing there from the north, and just looking at that mix of sun and clouds really as we head into those afternoon hours. As we head into tonight, I do expect those clouds to clear out, and the wind speeds will be a little bit light here too. That will allow our temperatures to drop here as well into the 40s, and some spots like Black River Falls could even hit the upper 30s here by tonight. Here's 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. We'll start off with those temperatures into the 60s underneath those clear skies, followed by just mostly sunny skies. A beautiful day tomorrow with temperatures well into the 70s. But for today, though, again, a little bit of cool start here today as high temperatures will be into the 60s this afternoon. And a check on your 8-day forecast showing that highs will be into the upper 70s by Sunday, and much of next week will feature highs into the 80s under a mix of clouds and sunshine.
This morning, I have Mariah and Amarina with us to talk about the student community plant sale that is happening today and tomorrow. What's going on? What is it? Let our viewers know. One of you.
Yeah, so we have a plant sale going on this afternoon from 3 to 6 and tomorrow from 9 to noon. It's at Northside Elementary, 1611 Kane Street.
Okay. And do the students grow the plants?
They grow a lot of the plants.
Oh.
So we've been also getting donations from the community. We've gotten donations from lots of people in La Crosse, Rochester, and then our students grow the majority of the vegetable starters, and then they care for all the donations we get or propagate them themselves.
What schools are participating?
Northside Elementary and Coulee Montessori. We share the building at Northside Elementary.
And what kind of plants are they? Are they just flowers? I know, is something like this going to be for sale?
Yes, we brought one of these for you. We have macrame plant hangers, like the one right here. There's ceramic art, house plants, perennials, annuals, and a lot of vegetable starters for the garden.
Yeah, we have over 2,000 plants.
Wow,
so,
a lot.
Anyone could find a plant.
Yes.
Where are the proceeds going?
So this year the proceeds, we're raising money for a school greenhouse. And with the help from, we've received grants from Rotary After Dark and FSPA. And so with this plant sale, we need to raise at least $5,000 more to meet our goal so that we can build our greenhouse this summer.
So how long has that, is it a greenhouse project? Is it something that y'all have been working on for a while? Can you tell me a little more about it?
Well, we started the plant sale before COVID, and then we had plans to do a plant sale and a unit because we both found that we liked plants, and we connected that way. And then we had to obviously stop for COVID, and that put it on hold for 3 years. And last year we had our first plant sale, and then this is our second one.
Yep.
So.
And do students enjoy doing it?
Oh my
yeah.
goodness, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a huge source of pride with growing all of these plants, but also learning about business and knowing that they can bring in all of these community members to work with each other. They absolutely love it.
Can individually each of you tell me what it's been like working with the students and creating something like this?
Go ahead.
Well, I think just the pure joy that they have working with plants, and we use it as a social emotional learning tool as well. So, you know, everybody has a bad day or a good day, and when you can get your hands in dirt and just kind of play around with it, the kids light up doing that, and it changes their whole perspective.
Mariah?
Yeah, I mirror that exactly. I think it's also a big equity builder. We're teaching students skills that they can use in their adult life, whether that's entrepreneurship, but also just growing their own food. They're able to take that knowledge and be able to take that with them in their life.
So if this doesn't convince someone to come out and buy for your plant sale, what else can you tell them to come out?
Oh, these kids have been working so hard all year. They have grown all these plants. They've taken care of all these plants. They've also done tons of artwork, and they've done all of the macrame. They've done everything for this sale. So it would mean a lot to them for you to come out and support them.
Will artwork also be at the sale?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. And where can people find more information? Do you have a website?
We have a Facebook page. It's called the Second Annual Northside and Clay-Montessori Plant Sale.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
So you can see a lot of pictures on there of what the students
what's
are
going to
doing.
be.
Kind of what we've done all year with the students.
Very exciting. Well, thank you both of you for being here. Viewers, check out the plant sale. They have a Facebook page. Make sure you check it out. It's for a great cause for the Student Greenhouse Project. We'll be right back after the break. An investigation is underway after a Monroe County Sheriff's Office canine died after a heat-related injury. On Wednesday, May 10th, 6-year-old canine Colt suffered a heat-related injury and died 5 days later. A Monroe County deputy has been placed on administrative leave. Legal expert Emily Lewis says canines are often seen as a partner to law enforcement officers. She says under Wisconsin law, the deputy could face a felony.
This officer could face a felony charge and the resulting penalties that go along with that. So up to a $10,000 fine and up to 3 years or more in imprisonment.
The Vernon County Sheriff's Office and Juneau County District Attorney's Office are investigating. Lewis says Colt's death is a reminder for everyone: avoid leaving your animals in a car as the weather gets warmer. You can teach an old dog new tricks. That's what one Western graduate shared in her speech at the celebration. With over 300 students, this was one of the college's largest graduating classes the school has ever had. Instead of holding a traditional ceremony, Western Technical chose to have an open house celebration. The Dean of Learner Support and Transition says the unique graduation came as a result of student feedback.
We've been perfecting it for the last few years, but we really think we're going to keep doing it this way because it seems to really resonate with our students and allow for a lot of individual expression.
Dean Church Hoffman says the size of this year's class speaks to many different learning opportunities. Students, she says, the avenues for getting your GED now are endless, allowing for a more individualized educational experience. Governor Evers has declared May 18th Wisconsin School Garden Day, a day that recognizes programs that offer educational opportunities to youth in the state. Students from Summit Environmental School are planting in the school's garden alongside educators from the La Crosse nonprofit GROW. Summit's principal says these kind of lessons are important to start at a young age.
Even though we live in a rural community, sometimes they don't know where their food comes from. So it's really nice and neat to see them trying new things and enjoying through the program, through the garden, to the GROW lessons.
Summit is one of 9 area schools that partner with GROW to provide students those hands-on, garden-based learning experiences. Northside Elementary and Cooley Montessori Elementary students are putting more than 1,600 plant-grown plants up for sale over the next 2 days. The second annual plant sale runs today from 3 to 6 p.m. and Saturday from 9 to noon. The students are offering everything from houseplants and vegetable starters to creative work. The proceeds from the sale will go to the school's greenhouse project. A Special Olympics tradition is going on this morning. Morning commuters passing Dunkin' Donuts on Losey Boulevard in La Crosse will see cops on the rooftop. The annual event raises money for Special Olympics Wisconsin. Everyone who donates gets a donut. People donating $10 get a coupon for a medium hot coffee. The event starts bright and early at 6 and runs through 11.
As you head out the door this morning, temperatures are in the 50s under a mix of clouds and sunshine. We're going to be looking at those temperatures in the 50s through at least 1 o'clock today. That just to give you an idea of how cool it will be out there, at least cooler that is, with temperatures in the 60s between around 3 to 5 p.m. under partly cloudy skies. So enjoy the cooler air while it lasts. Tomorrow we're warming right back up into the mid to upper 70s as we head into this weekend in general. Now as we head into next week, for the most part, highs will be into the 80s, mix of clouds and sunshine there with low temperatures into the 50s to low 60s.
This is what I have been waiting for since I started in February.
Yeah, I know. Finally, some warmer weather.
Finally
right?
here.
Yep.
Thanks, Derek. And thank you for watching News 8 Now. Don't forget to keep up with the news of the day on news8000.com. We will have the latest updates to today's top stories on News 8 Now at noon. Have a great morning, everyone. Thank you for watching News 8.